I found her under the porch, my daughter, 7 years old, face streaked with dirt, blood clotted in her hair. Her small hands shook as she clung to the wooden beam, eyes wide, terrified. "Daddy," her whisper cut deeper than any battlefield scream. "Please help. Mom's new husband got drunk, and he did this." The ground tilted beneath me. My boots felt heavier than the gear I'd carried overseas. I pulled her out, wrapped her in my arms, and felt her ribs press against me, fragile, trembling. At the base hospital, they stitched her head. I made one call, no details, no explanations, just a name, a location. Silence on the other end. Then a click. The next morning, his body was found at the bottom of a ravine. My phone rang. My wife, her voice a shriek of fury. "You're a monster!" The word hung in the air like smoke. But all I felt was stillness. Because monsters don't protect, they consume. And I had already seen the truth of who she chose to bring into our home. Her voice still echoed when the line went dead. A monster. That was her verdict. Not a husband. Not a father, not the man who carried death on foreign soil so she could sleep safe at night. I stared at the hospital bed. My daughter's chest rose and fell with the steady rhythm of morphine sleep. A small bandage wrapped her skull, pale against her skin. She should have been safe. Instead, she hid under porches, whispering confessions no child should ever have to form. And my wife, my partner, brought that into our home. I tried to think of explanations, drunken accidents, misunderstandings, but her words burned away the excuses. Mom's new husband did this. New husband, as though I had died overseas and she had written me off before the dirt of another country was out of my boots. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It had been waiting, coiled in silence, feeding in my absence. I had fought for a family that had already replaced me. And now my daughter had paid the price. I stayed calm, cold. On the surface, I was just a father sitting beside a hospital bed. But inside, I was counting pieces, moving them into place. I checked records, quietly. Marriage licenses, bank statements, messages buried in her phone bill. A second life unraveled like a hidden map, each line leading to her. She hadn't just moved on. She had covered it, lied, smiled across dinners while another man sat where I should have been, while my daughter called him stepdad. Every detail sharpened my thoughts into blades. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. She thought rage would blind me. She thought guilt would choke me. I let her believe it. I visited the house once, empty, silent, his bottle still on the counter, her perfume in the air. Photographs turned face out on shelves like nothing had changed. But I knew better. I was building a picture, a quiet, precise autopsy of betrayal. The evidence came like a tide. His criminal record, her joint account, a custody plan drafted in secret. My absence had been her opportunity. She had rewritten me as a ghost. When I returned, she tried to fold me back into that lie. I met her in the kitchen. She wouldn't look me in the eye. Why? My voice was level, not anger, just inquiry. She tried to twist it. "You were gone. You left us. He was there." Her hands shook. Her eyes darted to the door, to the phone, anywhere but me. I slid the documents across the counter. Names, dates, proof. The color drained from her face. She stammered excuses, reaching for sympathy, but her words collapsed in the silence. I didn't move, didn't blink. I already knew. I leaned in just enough for her to hear the quiet finality in my words. "You didn't just betray me. You put a predator in our daughter's life." Her lip trembled. Her body crumbled. She reached out, pathetic, desperate, but my eyes stopped her cold. I had already taken what mattered. Her mask was gone. Her lover rotting in a ravine. her secret life shattered under the weight of its own lies. I didn't need to raise my voice. The silence was punishment enough. She would wake tomorrow in a house stripped of illusions, every shadow whispering the truth she couldn't bury. That was my revenge. Not fire, not fists, just reality, sharpened and laid bare. Later, I sat beside my daughter's bed again, her small hand curled around mine in sleep. She didn't know the storm I had walked through. She didn't need to. She only needed to know one thing: her father was here, and nothing would touch her again. As for my wife, her screams still rang in my ears, but they no longer pierce. They were the echoes of a cage she had built for herself. I had stepped out of it, and I wasn't coming back. The final thought settled in me like cold steel. I wasn't the monster. I was the reckoning she summoned, and she would live with that truth long after I was gone.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.